We only have a few more minutes, and we have a few questions, a couple of questions. The first question, and you can answer the questions, I think, from the mic over there. So the first question, I think, to Sister Khalilah, how did you become interested in immigration activism?
Actually, I was blessed to meet Brother Esam and Mahdi Bray, who were building mass Muslim American society, and part of MAS was mass freedom. And they actually mentored me to understand the concept of initiating civil rights program within the society and to become effective. And I realized that there was a segment of the population that we were unable to help simply because in order to do that, I don't have a JD, but I have a PhD. So with experience, Department of Justice will certify you to become an accredited representative, and you're able to represent immigrants under Department of Homeland Security, USCIS, and in immigration courts. So I wanted to help these people. They were suffering under really what becomes the threat of paying tens and thousands of dollars to expensive legal firms. I cannot represent in federal court, so I did refer a particular case to a very well-known attorney. His retainer fee was $35,000. So that shows you that if you're an immigrant coming through the country, you can't afford to pay $10,000, which some of the firms start out. So we agree to charge minimal fees. And even Department of Justice said, raise some of those fees because many nonprofits aren't able to survive. But that's my basic interest in this type of work evolved from mass freedom. Alhamdulillah.
The next question is actually to both of you. Maybe Brother Esam can answer first, and then Sister Khalilah. How can we support the work of man in relation to immigration work and things like that?
I think, as Sister Khalilah mentioned, her work is absolutely amazing, and it's wonderful, and I hope we can see this work replicated in every state and in every city and in every place that we can. MAS, as a grassroots organization, as an organization that wants to help develop our community to move forward, has its priorities, and one of those is to serve these very humanitarian and very important aspects of our own society. When we talk about outreach and engagement, and when we talk about the Islah and joining the good and forbidding the evil, this is something well within our midst that's happening in our name with our tax dollars, and yet the gravity of the infarction on the humanity of so many people is something that goes unnoticed. I can tell you, even when we talk about the Muslim American community, my dear brothers and sisters, we are at a juncture in time when we are fighting America's fight. So when we talk about our belonging to the American society, it's no longer a statement we say just as a way to aspire to some reality that does not exist. We are in the midst of a time when our problems, our community's problems, happen to intersect with the biggest challenges that this nation faces. And it's always true that when these challenges happen, those communities that do not rise to the challenge, and those communities who do not accept to be the ones that will take the higher road and fight the big fight for the rest of us. Our African American brothers did it when the civil rights movement took place. The women of this nation did it when the suffrage movement took place. And so on and so forth. One of the biggest targeted communities with this challenge of this immigration, in addition to our Latino American brothers and sisters, is the Muslim American brothers and sisters. And again, we don't do it just for our own good. We do it because it's right. We do it because it's what ought to be done. But you need to understand that while we're talking about the train leaving the station and the fact that the demographics of America have changed such that there is no returning back. When you talk to your children today about going into public office, you need not worry about them not getting the votes because the electorate looks a little different from what they are. Your 10-year-olds and 15-year-olds and even 20-year-olds will be running in elections where America looks far more like them than it actually looks otherwise. We know the numbers, we know the demographics. In Virginia alone, in the year 2040, less than 22 years from now, more than 50% of those who are under the age of 50 in Virginia will be non-white. Now we embrace our white brothers and sisters just as much as we embrace everybody else. But we're not going to allow the discrimination and the bigotry that is inherent. And so it is the time now for us to recognize policies that are set today, are being set today, are ones that will dampen the process, that will hold us back to see the changes we want and the transformation we want. Because once they are institutionalized into laws, it becomes rather difficult to undo them in the next few years. We will undo them. We will reverse the Muslim ban. We will ensure that our immigration policies will be more inclusionary and more humane. But why waste time if we can't start today? Because when we start today, we undo the very mechanisms by which these laws are being placed, and they're being done in our absence. And that's where the challenge is. You may see them as innocuous or not very serious, but they are putting the very groundwork to limit yours and mine, prosperity and future in this nation. And in turn, they slow the progress that America needs in order to overcome the challenges it faces. So the time is now, and the work is needed in every corner of America. And so if you're looking for how, you can follow the example of what Sister Khalilah Sabra is doing. You can learn, you can intern with her, you can figure out how best you can replicate, and then build coalitions and join and figure out what others are doing. This is an existential issue that is affecting and impacting millions of Americans, and we can find the will and the spirit and inshallah the strength to carry it anywhere you are.
Okay. On that end, we would like to end. Thank you to our esteemed panelists. And before we end, there are two quick announcements that the program committee has instructed us to make. First of all, please meet us in rooms 105 A, B, C, and D at 5 p.m. for our Muslim professional networking sessions. If you would like to network with fellow professionals of your career track, please do so. Also, you can get your legal questions answered from top immigration and top expert attorneys from the Muslim Legal Fund of America Legal Clinic. It's available. There is a booth across from the 21 Cafe next to the MAS-ICNA Convention desk. It's today all day until 5 p.m. Jazakumullah khair, and thank you very much to us.
I just want to say that for any of you who want information about how to help, want to establish programs, go to our website for Mass Immigrant Justice Center, www.masijc.org. Check the website. In about 4 days, we're going to have a listing of all the programs, who to contact, and how to get involved, and how to get students involved. Because our goal is not to keep it with the ones who are existing. Our goal is to train others, to train a younger generation that will carry the torch to the future, inshallah, so that it won't just become a memory and an afterthought, but something that carries on into the future, inshallah. Jazakallah khair.